On the Brendan Mace YouTube channel, I share a ton of videos that show you exactly how to build a sustainable and long-term online income. Now, there's lots of videos in here, and in a lot of cases, a lot of these videos show you exactly step by step how to build a significant online income. But when it comes down to building wealth, it really does not matter as much how much you make. What's much more important is how you spend your money. A great example of the point that I'm about to make is Mike Tyson. So Mike Tyson, in the course of his career being a heavyweight boxer, made around $300 million. So $300 million. Now you would imagine if you made $300 million, it'd be very easy to become a wealthy person. Well, it's not a big secret that after Mike Tyson's career, he ended up filing for bankruptcy and didn't have any money left. Not only did he not have any money, he actually was very significantly in debt. Well, according to Robert Kiyosaki, who authored the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the whole secret to becoming wealthy is just in how you spend your money. Whenever you make a purchasing decision, you're either going to be buying into an asset or a liability. Now, there are different definitions of assets, and I'm going to talk about this in a second. But basically, the way Robert defines asset is just anything that pays you money. So anything that you own that makes you money, okay? Now, on the other hand, a liability is anything that costs you money. Now, the little bit of a tricky part in his book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, is he makes the very clear point that when a lot of people think that they're actually buying assets, what they're really buying is liabilities. And a great example mentioned in that book is somebody buying a house for their family. So if you buy a $500,000 house for your home and it's just your family living in that home, that is not an asset. The reason why that's not an asset is because it's costing you money, which means that it should appropriately be labeled as a liability. On the other hand, if you buy a property with the intention of renting it out and actually make a recurring income from your property, that would be an example of an asset. And what I'm showing you right now on the screen is a property that I just purchased that I'm going to use as a vacation rental in the wintertime. So this is a vacation rental property that I just bought. And basically, the going rate for an apartment for rent in the wintertime here in Canada is around $2,500 per month that I can rent this out for. That's what I'm expecting to get from this property. Now, the ski season where I live is about 5 months, which means that I should be able to generate around $12,500 worth of rent every single year during the ski season. Now imagine if I had 5 of those properties, okay? They're only about a little over $100,000. And when you're buying property, you really only need to put 5 to 20% down to be able to buy the property in the first place. So now imagine if I went out and I paid 20% on 4 or 5 different properties and I was renting them all out during the ski season, I would generate more money in rent revenue than most people make from their everyday jobs. But it even gets better than that because there's different kinds of income here. And what Kiyosaki's also talked about is the 3 different types of income. So first of all, there's earned income. That's basically how much money you make from the everyday job that you have to perform to an employer, okay? The second source of income is portfolio income. And the third source of income is passive income. Now, the real key takeaway point here is that when you're getting earned income, it's really the worst kind of income because it's the most taxed. To give you an example of that, here in Canada, a starting salary for a full-time teacher is $41,000. And that's in the province that I live in, which is British Columbia. Now, $41,000 sounds pretty good, but remember, teachers work a lot of hours, right? You have the 8:30 till 3:30 of the school day, but then you also have extra time after school ends where you're marking papers, you're preparing classes for the next day. So you have a lot of time that you're putting into this, and you're making $41,000, but the caveat here is that you're getting taxed, right? And teachers get taxed at, I think, around a 35% tax mark, right? Now, when you do business type assets where you're generating income in other ways, in a lot of cases, if you know what you're doing, you can get your tax rate really close to zero. So now when you have 5 Silver Star properties, like one of the ones that I just invested in, now you're making over a teacher's salary, but further to that, you're not even getting taxed as much either. So it's a double whammy, which is why earned income and the whole focus on making money through a wage is not a good option if you want to become really wealthy. Because even if you make a lot of money as an employee, let's say you're a doctor that makes $250,000 per year, you're still getting taxed. The more money you make with a job, the more you get taxed. So a doctor, for example, you get like a 50% tax rate. Their $200,000 income would go down to $100,000 net. Well, it's a lot easier for me or for anybody that has some capital and they're allocating it in the right way to get to a position where they're making $100,000 net through business than it is to go through med school and become a doctor. Which is why the basics to getting rich should focus on how you invest your money. The chances of you becoming extremely wealthy through a job alone is ridiculously low. However, if you use the income that you generate and you allocate it into assets that actually work for you and pay you money, then it becomes a lot easier for you to become wealthy. And if you follow the mindset of Robert Kiyosaki, it's not about how much you make that determines whether you become rich or not. It's what you spend your money on. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like below. And because this video is on a topic that I'm just starting to get my feet wet in, I do make a good income stream online, which you can see lots of videos that show exactly how I make my money if you look at my YouTube channel there. However, I am just starting to get into the process of wealth accumulation, so I would love to have your point of view. So definitely let me know your thoughts. Do you agree with what I've said, or do you have something different to add? Let me know in the comment section below. And as always, thank you for watching my video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.